Hello everyone, thanks for joining me tonight. If you're new here, I'm Kim. Tonight's video is all about the budget. We're going to talk about April's budget, May's budget, our income, increased income, our expenses, all the bills we pay, all the bills we have paid in the month of April and May, how we're saving, how we're doing, and also my new experience into cash stuffing. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're also going to discuss how I went from somebody 2 years ago that for most of my life enjoyed spending and buying things to somebody in the last 2 years who just loves to save money. So thanks for joining me here tonight. I hope you like this video. If you find it interesting, there'll be more videos like this. Please hit the subscribe button. If you like this particular video, please hit the like button. I'd love for you to join my community. Until next time, be safe, be well, and I'll see you again. Okay, answering the video's title, How I Went from Spending Everything I Earned to Saving. Well, it goes back to when I was 12 years old and had a babysitting business. I hardly made anything. In the late 70s, I made a quarter or 50 cents an hour, which I'm pretty sure was way below asking price. But my parents didn't intercede. They just let it go, and oftentimes I babysat 10 or 12 kids as a 12 or 13-year-old, and I didn't make much money, and whatever money I made, I bought Tiger Beat magazine every week or every month, however often it came out. And then at 16, I went into work study in high school, and I worked my junior and senior year in a work study program from noon until 5:30, 6 days a week, and I generally spent all that money. When I got to be a senior, though, I started saving some because at 17 I moved to Minneapolis, and it was going to be 3 months before I started a job at an insurance office and started school. And so I did save some money for that period of time, but when I would get paid, I would go out and have a coffee or eat at McDonald's or something, and generally spent everything I earned. And then when I was 18, and for a period of 21 years, I worked in healthcare and made just enough to pay my bills. So when I started making more, and it was just for a short, brief period of time, here and there when I would work 2 or 3 jobs, I would spend everything, whether it would be on stuff for the house or just overspend sometimes on groceries. When we moved from we had a double wide when we first got married, and we lived in it for 13 years, and we moved from there to an apartment. We finally bought our first furniture. So any money that we had saved went on furniture, expensive furniture, not just, type of furniture we probably should have bought. And then shortly after that, I started college at 42, 43 years old, and then graduated 8 years later at 51, and I had to work my first job making no money, and then a second job making $9 an hour with $80,000 in student loans. And finally, I got a job where I was making $15 an hour and took wages from almost 3 years and any overtime and any tax returns, and I paid those student loans off. And now, in the last 2 years, after going through all that, low-paying jobs, student loans, and not getting a job after over 250 applications I put in after I graduated college, not getting a job and then having to work for nothing and then having to work for under $10 an hour, and all of that nightmarish type of existence from the time I was 17 years old until I was well into my 50s. It just struck me. I hadn't saved for retirement. I didn't really have any stability in my job. We were not going to live in an apartment forever, and with, the economy hasn't been the greatest since I graduated college. I mean, we've gone through, when I first started college, we went through the mortgage or housing bubble where the economy collapsed, financial sector lost, 1 or 2 million jobs right when I had a degree in finance, and interest rates have been ticking up steadily since I think 2012, 2014, and we've come to a point where we have a 17-year-old, almost 18-year-old car at over 200,000 miles. We have a 17-year-old cat. We've lived in this apartment for 17 years, and it's time for a big change. And the only way that change is going to occur is if we prioritize savings, spending stops, we change things, alter things, learn how to live on less groceries, Go back to thrifting clothes instead of buying new clothes. Go back to living a more modest and humble lifestyle. Not that we were living like rock stars, but just really buckle down and stop spending. And we've been able to do a lot of things in the last 2 years. The student loans are paid off. The credit card debt is paid off. We went from spending $1,100, $1,200 on groceries down to $250 a month. For the first time ever, we have a balance in a savings account in a bank. For the first time ever, we're not putting, for a long time, we're not putting Christmas on a credit card. For the first time ever, we will have a significant down payment on a car. We haven't had that since we bought our car 17 years ago. And without saving and continuing along like I have for my entire life and like my husband has for most of his life, we would still be in this apartment 10 years from now. We would probably have to buy a beater for a car, probably have to work here in town if jobs continued. And when Social Security or even just retirement, say Social Security, just doesn't even exist, we would have nothing. My husband would have his Social Security check, which is thought to be probably $2,500 a month, and he won't be retiring for another 15 to 17 years. So dire straits, and we can't have that. We have to have something more than that. And that means instead of spending every dime that I make, it means prioritizing savings and retirement. And the things, prioritizing down payments, prioritizing the money away from all unnecessaries to accounts that provide us with down payments for things. So our second quarter started in April, and the income, this is both my husband's and my income now, and then the rent was $1,400 and the electric was $125. The car insurance went up to, when it renewed, went up to $71. Rent insurance also renewed and went up to $25. Our cell bill is always $69. The groceries, I'm budgeting $400, but we have been spending under $400. Cat food budget's always $80. Fuel is always $60. The new car, we budgeted out $208 for the down payment. The old car maintenance, roughly, it's about $96 a month that we're putting away. $208 to help us move. Down payment on a new home is $224. Retirement's $453 a month. $250 put in a Roth IRA. We're trying to save up 6 months worth of our living expenses, so $216 a month. $100 in just general savings, and we're cash stuffing. We've been cash stuffing for my husband's deductible for his surgery, and then we want some aftercare or emergency care for our cat. Obviously, when that's saddest day comes, we want to make sure that things are taken care of, and that everything's peaceful and his end is peaceful. And that in this area, someone does come to the house and takes care of things like that, and then takes care of all the rest, and then you're able to go pick up the remains, and that entire bill is about $1,000. So we want to make sure we have that money, that we don't get stuck where we don't have that money, or we would have to put it on a credit card, or actually get a credit card to put it on a credit card. So yeah, we are cash stuffing for that, and those will be done at the end of June. So my husband's deductible will be saved, and the kitty's emergency aftercare and whatnot, that will be all saved by the end of June. And so yeah, I think that we were able to do some different things once I had an income. And then the income, of course, went to the in April, it had just started, and it wasn't quite the part-time work. And then in May, it was part-time work, so the income was $4,700, and the same exact expenses. And then when we get down to the end of May, the cash stuffing will be less in June because, like I said, we fulfilled the deductible for my husband's surgery and the aftercare emergency for our cat. And now the next envelope stuffing that we'll be doing will be for a washer. We think that the washer is going to be $600, and then a bed. The bed that we have, it's 2 mattresses, 2 twin mattresses on a California King base, and I can't sleep on my mattress anymore. So my husband loves his mattress, but my twin mattress is no good anymore. So we're either going to get another twin mattress for me, Or to help with me getting a peaceful night's sleep without my husband snoring, I'm just going to have my own bed all on my own and sleep in the office, because we are decluttering that, and that's dwindling down to where a bed would fit in it nicely. So that's the next cash stuffing things that we're going to do. I do have some over here that we have finished. I don't know how well you'll see it on the video, but Christmas, we're 100% funded. Birthdays, we funded in our cash stuffing. Summer day trip, garden, and pantry stock up. So those things are funded. All that's left for us to cash stuff is a washer and a bed. When June comes, income is thought to be $4,700, and once again we will have the exact same bills, but I'm just going to put it into the video at this point, because I figure at this point most people that watch my videos, that are subscribed to my videos and tune in regularly, I'm just going to put it here instead of making a whole video about it and stuff like that, and just having a lot of people I guess know the information that really are not subscribed and probably don't care one way or the other. At the end of June, I will no longer have a part-time job. There was a meeting here this past Friday. It is a health clinic, a hospital health clinic that I work at. There is some funding issues. I don't know whether the funding issues are going to become are going to increase for this hospital or not, but people that are in part-time jobs that could have gone possibly in to full-time jobs in the fall, and that was in probably early August is what they were looking at, are not going to get the full-time work, and people that are currently in part-time work are going to be have reduced hours. And there's not many hours they can reduce on mine, since I'm only working 2, sometimes 3 days a week, and the third day that I work is only a half a day. So I am expecting, even though I haven't been told exactly, not to have a job when the end of June comes. I will be doing some consulting work. I've been offered a job as a consultant, and there isn't really hours there. It's when you're consulted, you get paid, and I'm willing to take that kind of work. I worked that work before, and I've got paid good money, I think. Good. It paid the bills, and it helped our situation out, and it will help me a lot, pay towards retirement and the savings account and the emergency savings and such. So that's what I think is going to come in June. But again, I don't want to make a whole video about it and announce it in a video. So I'm just letting those that do follow along and are this far into the video know that's probably what's going to happen, but there's no worries and there's no need for you to worry, because in a couple more years I'm going to be retiring anyways. So, and I probably would be able to consult whenever it's needed or whenever I'm asked to, until I'm, I don't know, 70 years old. So it's, like I said, it's not hours or anything. Somebody consults with you, or you consult with somebody, and in my case it was always commodities and futures and analyzing and looking at financial statements and stuff like that. So we'll see where that goes, when and if it happens. So that is my little lesson for myself, and I look back at it and I think about it often. We are behind the 8 ball because of the way that we spent the first part of our marriage, and it was just the way we were, the way we are. But, everybody has a day of reckoning, and our day of reckoning came, and I'm glad that it came now, when we can still work on it and do something about it. And I'm proud of us being able to, for the first time in our adult life, prioritize savings and get somewhere with it. So I think that we'll do just fine. This is our second quarter budget update. I can't give you any of the bills in June, but when I do the third quarter budget update, I will definitely talk about June's income, June's bills, and any update on employment in that video. So I hope you're all well. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you're having a good weekend. Stay safe and stay well on this Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you with the next video on Tuesday. And I do want to interject, if you're still following along, that obviously if I lose my job in June and that, I will continue to apply at jobs all over with the hope and optimism that I will get another job. But while I'm waiting to get another job, because like I said, Where we're at with saving for a down payment, a new car, I probably wouldn't be able to realistically retire at 63 or 64. I think I'm probably looking more at 68 at the earliest date. So I would still continue to apply at jobs, get a hold of, follow up, email, touch base with the HR offices in some of the places I've already applied and see what's going on. So, and try to secure employment in that after the month of June if things work out the way that they're said to be working out for people working at this medical center in the administrative office or in the front office, as we call it. So, no worries there. I saw some local farm stand prices in just our general area versus store, and I was kind of shocked because we rely on farm stands and CSAs, relationship with a local farmer, and that we have for years and years. But this year, I don't think it's going to happen. The main farm stand that we go to is charging $3 a pound. It's been sold to somebody else, so the owners we've been dealing with for the last 15 years are no longer there. So now they're selling greenhouse grown tomatoes at the stand for $3 a pound, and those same tomatoes, but they're even better, are $1.98 a pound. They're grown on the vine. They're still greenhouse, but they're grown on the vine, and they're so much better tasting for $1.98 a pound, and that's at our local grocery store. They're selling $4 a bunch of asparagus, and they were 11 skinny stalks, which we don't like, at the farm stand, and it's $1.98 for a bunch of asparagus, 15 stalks that are both skinny and slightly large at Walmart. The rhubarb they're selling is $350 for 4 stalks of rhubarb at the stand, and the vendor wasn't sure where they were grown. And at the local grocery store, it's $2.98 for 7 stalks of rhubarb. $7.50 a pound for a small container of cherries at the farm stand, and $4.99 a pound of locally grown, and that's in Door County, Wisconsin cherries at the local grocery store. So that's a big difference from farm stand, which used to have super affordable prices, to grocery store. And one of the reasons is that this farm stand, they go all over the United States to grab produce, and I don't know, I guess it used to be a good deal for the guy that owned it and a good deal for the people that bought from it. But since it's been sold, I'm not sure if the person that they sold it to is growing their own vegetables, and that's why they're selling it at these prices, or what's going on. But we won't be visiting the stand. We'll be going to the local grocery store as long as they have these prices. We don't even have to go as far as Walmart as long as the local grocery store continues to sell produce at these prices. So we're very happy about that. So just thought I would just interject that about continuing to find a job, and then also some local prices for produce.